all doing today? I hope you're doing amazing. I hope the week has been quite eventful. So, in today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about everything the dollar, we're going to talk about gold and silver, and we're going to we open a couple of trades in our signal page, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that because they're still pretty young and new. And after that, we're just going to wrap it up. So, if this is your first time watching the video, don't forget to subscribe. And if this is not your first time, please do not hesitate to click on the like button. Let's jump straight into it. So right here, we still have the dollar index moving back inside the range. I'm talking about the 96.30 and 100.35 range. I'm talking about this particular support here and this multiple resistance here. All right. So we're still inside this box on the daily time frame. However, I think what we can expect from here now is a potential drop all the way down to 94.65. And why am I saying that? Why? Because I mean, look at the chart. The market is extremely bearish, and if you're going to be following the trend, slow and steady, I would say we should just anticipate for a further drop in the price of the dollar index. I'm trying to load the US economic heat map right here. So if it comes up quite fast, I'm going to show you what and how we have been positioned fundamentally. But before then, let's take this to the 4-hour time frame so we can see the chart a little bit clearer. I'm still on DXY. So let me pick my Fibonacci right here. Let's take this black background and let's plot it right here. So I think it's a little bit bigger now, right? I think it's obvious now. So first off, why am I still quite bearish and why do I expect another leg lower on DXY? First off, we've seen this lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, the continuation of this particular daily time frame trend. Okay, I'm talking about the bearish trend, mind you. And moving forward, we've seen a very nice zigzag momentum. I'm talking about ABC pattern correction on DXY. And moving forward, I think we should just expect the market to come all the way down moving forward from there. So on the 8-hour time frame, I would want to see the chart a bit clearer there. You will notice that right inside the range, right? I'm talking about this particular range. I mean, I've already talked about that while I was on the daily time frame. We've seen lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So that means like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then we've seen 1, 2, 3 ABC kind of correction, and then we've seen another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? All the way to the downside. And right now, what I was explaining on the 4-hour time frame, we've seen ABC correction again. So what else are we expecting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potentially on DXY. So that is why I am just a little bit leaning towards 94.65 on DXY. If we are focusing on counting these waves and counting the correction or corrective moves, and then continue with the bearish momentum, and then we just got a potential pullback that now technically also falls towards the 61.8 Fibonacci, right? That is what we call the premium zone. All right, we got this drop to the downside, we got this pullback that comfortably covered this previous gap, and that is very decent. Okay, we got this gap covered or filled already. So what we can expect further is a better and more decline in the price of the dollar. I don't think I can explain it better than that. All right. However, if I am ever gonna lean towards buying or bullish on the dollar index, I would say that we've got to see a break above this particular 100 region on the dollar index before I can now start calling maybe for, I don't know, 102, 103, all the way to 107. But until then, we lean bearish and we continue to sell dollar index as time goes on. I said I want to take a look at the fundamentals, but let's take a look at that before we actually continue forward. Right, so this is the US economic heat map. It still looks pretty decent. I must say that we have the growth, right? Manufacturing PMI came out today. I mean, yesterday, excuse me, yesterday, Monday, and it came out pretty good, right? We also have service PMI also pretty good. Retail sales, pretty good. Unemployment rate, initial jobless claim, we're still going to get all of these this week. However, we got PPI in January, came out pretty sticky, 3.0% from what was forecasted as 2.7%. So it's still the same as previous, which is pretty sticky, just what I just said. Right, we have CPI also 2.7% sticky. It's not leaning towards what the Fed is forecasting or what the Fed is expecting or their target. However, it is not getting bigger extremely. So it's sticky. Although the labor data is not looking the best, so we have to watch out for NFP and the rest of the talking about initial jobless claim on Thursday, unemployment rate, wage growth, everything coming this Friday. So you have to pay close attention to that. All right. So in my personal opinion, I would say that though I mean dollar, in my opinion, it looks good on paper, but on the chart, it looks pretty bad, right? So, focusing on what we have on the chart, I would say that for the sell off, all the way to 94.65, it is very possible. Now, let's jump straight to the chart. The trade we have going on. We took a buy on Euro USD, although it's a pretty young trade, and I would even potentially be waiting for another leg to the downside like this. I want to say divergence for me to have to this particular position, but I took this trade already. As you can see, we have more like a flat bottom here, right? We have lower low, right? Or you can call it double bottom. And then right here we have something you can call a divergence. Okay, we have double bottom here on the indicator. We have low, we have higher high, and then we have higher low, right? This is what I mean by divergence. So, some of you already know this, so we don't need to dwell on that. But this trade was called in a signal group, and majority of them are holding it. Okay, we see a few in the paper. Still, we're waiting. We are waiting on. So when the time is right, we're going to share that moving forward. So euro dollar buy. Dollar Swiss, we're shorting currently. We took a trade already. This trade is already running like 20 pips, right? So this is a swing trade, anyways, and it's like 2.3% kind of trade. So looks good. I'm still holding it. See how that goes. Right. So that's that on what's it called again? Dollar Swiss. Just getting started. And Solana, I'm still holding my Solana, although I closed a chunk of it when we got the our target right at the bottom here. But I'm still holding a little bit of the position. Okay, I partial close and I'm still waiting for more. If you get a pullback, I will potentially add to the trade. Let me make it basic good. So let me drag this a little bit on Solana. So if you take a look, a very critical look at Solana, and you're not being emotional about crypto selling off heavily across board, we have Bitcoin, we have Ethereum now below 2,500, 2,400. Okay, the last time I checked Ethereum, it was around 2,250. So if you're not being emotional about the cryptocurrency, I would suggest that you just wait for a pullback on Solana and see if you can take another short moving forward. And the target right now is going to be like $78, right? If you want, if you're going to be very, very weird and very, very, very ash towards Solana, I would say $17 is on the table. Okay, we can see a pullback to this region, a drop to $78, and then the ricochet continue from there, right? The momentum continues all the way to the downside until we get a massive shift in the current trajectory, which is very bearish. All right. So, in my opinion, I will say that, okay, and I'm being very careful and also grateful because I'm also a big holder of cryptocurrency, but I'm not going to overlook the fact that it is going through a little bit of downtown, right? And when this thing is happening, you just have to follow the momentum. You just gotta do what you gotta do so you can make money while the market is going down. That's why we trade. You make money when the market is dropping, and you make money when the market is rallying. That is why we trade. Okay, that's what differentiates us from investing or investor, literally. So moving forward, these are the regions that are still on the table. I'm talking about $78 is on the table. $51.35 is on the table. 32 also is on the table. $32. And we have $17. By the time Solana dropped down to $17, yeah, a lot of things is happening already. I'm not sure if $72 is possible or feasible in my opinion, but that is the last key zone we have on Solana. You can see we have a resistance here, has never been retested before. So we could see a drop back to 32.25 region to fully retest this particular key zone, I mean this particular resistance, and use it as support. Then we can now see a fast rally all the way to the upside. Now, one thing about the crypto market is when the market is selling off like this, or when we are in the bear market, quote unquote, you don't have to be scared. You know that no matter how the market sell off, right? When the bull guys, when the bull cycle come and play, we're gonna make so much amount of money. The market will move like a wildfire. In a month, you will see 10,000 kind of pips, 20,000 kind of pips. I mean, I'm talking about the kind of rally that we've been experiencing in gold and silver in the last couple of weeks. So I'm just kind of like enjoying myself while I still keep buying all these assets. I continue to buy Solana. I mean, every drop, the moment it drops to $51.35, I'm gonna buy, right? But at the same time, I will be selling it speculatively. Okay, if it drops to $32.25, I'm still gonna buy again. But you can be rest assured that I will be selling it on the speculative part or as a CFD asset. Okay, because I am still a big time investor in the crypto market. And if eventually it drops to $17.20, I will most definitely still gonna buy. Okay, so you don't have to be emotional about these things. Just follow the trend, follow the momentum, and enjoy yourself. Okay, have the best fun. So back to the 4 hour time frame on Solana, I would say that potentially, okay, if we get a full retest of this particular region at 112, right, 112 region right there, I will be looking for another sell on Solana, right? As you can see, every time we get a break, okay, we got a retest. We got this break right here. We got a retest. We got a break. We got a retest of this particular region. So you can see the trajectory is very clean. Okay, the structure is very clean, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, potentially lower high, right? So let's just keep a close tab on Solana. If we get a pullback to 112 region, provided that it did not break above it, right? If you fail to break above it, then why not just take another shot and target $78 moving forward? That is how I'm going to trade it, okay? Unless the market just torpedoed down, then I'll be looking for a retest of this particular zone right here, like 7.2, and right there, I'll be shorting. But don't you forget, I still have a very tiny position I am willing to hold for the rest of when the market is going to shift from bearish to bullish on Solana. So watch out, guys. That's that on Solana. And I don't want to talk about much cryptocurrency, so let's stick to Forex, all right? Because I mean, crypto market is quite, it's very objective and a lot of emotions out there. So I'm just gonna keep my ideas to myself, all right? Anyways, so back to the daily time frame, and we are kicking off with AUDCHF. Now, right here, right now, we're getting AUDCHF just playing out the way we are anticipating it, or we have it planned out, right? I said we could have another rally back to this region at the top before we get that sell off. But I will not be buying this asset. Okay, you can be rest assured of that. I will not be buying this asset. Although we're getting a little bit of a what? A little bit of a wedge pattern right there. Okay, might also be called a diagonal, but I would just call it a wedge, all right? As a matter of fact, it's looking quite close to being a channel, anyways. So we just have to watch out right now as far as NZD, I mean AUDCHF is concerned. All right, and then we are this particular rally can be tied to the Reserve Bank of Australia hiking the rate, all right, by 25 basis points. So that is also very, very important to take note of moving forward. So potentially we could get a retest of this particular the lower bound of this particular channel, and we get it all the way to the upside, like this, right? Potentially. But mind you, like I said earlier, I am not gonna be buying all these swings, right? It looks good to buy. can buy from here, you can buy from here, right? Very, very interesting regions to buy. But I am not in that business. Okay, I love to short them. Okay, they makes better sense when they are dropping. They work very fast, and you can easily grab 1:3, 1:4, 1:5 risk to reward on them. So I will just wait for them to be ready to short, and then I'll be shorting them moving forward. You can go back in time on all the Swiss pairs and see how heavy they drop, including dollar Swiss, right? You can see how heavy they drop. You can see them. They are very, very clear when they are dropping. Sometimes when they are buying too, they buy very well, but most of the time they just kind of range, very annoying. Sometimes you see some gaps that will close you out impulsively. And I'm just not in that business, honestly. And I just really want to shop, right? I just really want to shop. So that is just my own thought process on that one. Which other trade do I want to share before I bounce today? Let's talk about gold. Gold is finding its way back to the upside gradually. Do I want to buy now? Obviously not. We talked about this last week. I said that if we get a cross above this particular region at 47.65, let's wait for pullbacks, right? Let's wait for the retest of this particular region that just got broken at 47.65. Once we get a retest of it, then we can be sure that this is not another, you know, pump and dump kind of like move, right? I'm not interested in any of that. I want a very decent move, a better drop, and the market should just give me what I want, right? If it's not going to give me what I want, I don't mind saying bye bye to gold, right? So moving forward, I still think also that we could get a deeper drop, right? Something like a C wave on gold. All right. I think we can still get a C wave on gold. Let me see how I can make this a bit bigger for you. So on gold, we've seen a massive and intensive rallies to the upside, right? And right now, we're probably gonna call this a corrective move, right? So we've seen A, might see this might be our B. We're just waiting for B to actually complete, and then maybe a further C back to 4,000 region or 4,100 region, then from there, or even 4,200 region. Okay, I don't want to be a savage. So these three regions, 4,000, 4,100, and 4,200, will be region where I'll be looking for potential swing back, provided that this particular play that I was talking about earlier, I'm talking about 4765 region, is not a very decent play, right? So if I'm going to be sticking to the wave count, trying to see if I can get a corrective wave, I would say 4,000, 4,100, 4,200. Any of this particular region could be a very good place to start looking for buy opportunity on gold. But I'm very sure majority of you guys are already buying, right? Impulsively, just having fun. Enjoy yourself. If I'm gonna be joining you, I'll be joining you late. Okay. And like I said, I'll be joining at 4,765, or maybe a more deeper level at 4,200, 4,100, or 4,000. All right. So those are the region I will be looking for a buy opportunity on gold moving forward. So, guys, I hope you are enjoying yourself. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's wrap it up with dollar yen, and that will be all for today. As far as dollar yen is concerned, I'm interested in shorting dollar yen as well. All right, don't forget I am at large bearish on the dollar index itself, and right here we are seeing dollar back to dollar yen back to 50%. I mean the equilibrium region on Fibonacci. So I'm just waiting for this particular ending diagonal to kind of like complete its entire cycle, so I can look for a very very good entry. I'm talking about this particular move right here. Let me change that to white. Good. So we're seeing this particular move here, and we're getting this particular move here as well. Right. So it looks like an ending diagonal that seems to be taking a lot of time. So if I'm gonna be shorting this conservatively, I would say a break below here would signal a better short opportunity for me, right? I will be shorting after the retest of this particular low, right? I want to see a lower low, lower high, then I will shorten from there, right? So that is how I'm going to be approaching that. Although you can short all the way from the top here, as a matter of fact, it is right for a sell, but not for me. Okay, I want to see a better drop to the downside, a potential pullback. Then maybe we're gonna set it from there. I'm gonna get a better risk to reward ratio like that. So watch out very closely on that as well. Guys, that is all from me today. I'm gonna see you in the next one. Have a beautiful day. Enjoy the rest of the week. Bye for now.